Good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Lopez. I am the Senior Director of Programs here at Connecticut Main Street Center, and I am so happy to be with you today, sharing all the work that we've done in the past year and our findings from our assessment. I'll be pointing out our state's strengths, areas that need some attention, and what we are doing to address those gaps. So there's this new energy that we're feeling here at Connecticut Main Street Center. It's a renewed buzz in our downtowns that we're seeing across the state. And we're feeling it in our numbers. With individual, regional, and multi-district options, our combined membership has grown to cover over 100 towns representing 2 million residents. Our webinar registrations are up 40% over last year, and our events are selling out. We had our 2 spotlight events this year in Georgetown and New Britain, our TOD Summit in March, and today's event, State of Maine. Every day, we're receiving calls from new communities interested in establishing or enhancing their downtown, and from our members looking for guidance and support. So today, we're introducing this new event, State of Maine, to meet this energy head on. But I can't introduce Connecticut Main Street Center a lot. For most of you in the audience, you guys know who we are, but for those of you who are just interacting with us for the first time, we are the official state coordinating program of Main Street America. We are also the only organization that's dedicated exclusively to building and sustaining vibrant downtowns across the state. So first, a brief definition. We talk a lot about Main Street management, downtown management. What do we actually mean when we say that? And what we're talking about is a non-governmental entity that serves as a champion and steward of the downtown. It exists outside of municipal government so that it can work across administrations, it can attract diverse funding, and rally broad-based volunteer and stakeholder support. Main Street managers are connectors, advocates, conveners, problem solvers, improvisers. They're supporting businesses, arts, and culture, ensuring that downtowns are welcoming and safe, aligning diverse stakeholders around a common vision. In many ways, they do the work of an economic developer or a planner, but just on a much more smaller scale, focused geographic scale. To guide this work, Connecticut Main Street Center created a Main Street Management Assessment tool 3 years ago. This tool evaluates over 80 data points to help our members see what's working and areas that need improvement. It's been incredibly valuable both for our own programming and for helping communities advocate for additional support. This year, we expanded the work with a Main Street Readiness Assessment tool, evaluating communities in Northwest Hills partnership with the Regional Council of Governments and Southeastern Connecticut in partnership with Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce. From this work, we developed a classification framework that reflects where communities fall along the stages of Main Street management to better identify next steps and recommendations to these communities. So let's take a look at these stages. So first, we have our status quo communities. These are towns that do not have an existing downtown built environment and do not have an interest in creating one. Next, our aspirational communities have the desire to create a Main Street experience, but do not yet have that built environment and so need to construct their downtown. Untapped potential means that these communities have a downtown built environment, but there's not enough community buy-in to adopt a managed approach. Our ready-to-go communities have the built environment of a downtown and the interest in Main Street management, but they don't have that management structure in place yet. So then next is our working group. So these are communities that are taking the next step with having a dedicated subcommittee or commission focused solely on their Main Street. Then we get to manage stage 1. These are communities that have a separate entity, like a 501c3, but it's only volunteer run, which lead us next to, there's a separate entity with paid staff. So this includes our BIDs, our SSDs, and a handful of nonprofits. And then lastly, this is our gold standard. This is Main Street America accredited programs. These are Main Street programs that show the highest level of rigor and commitment to Main Street management. We have 3 here in Connecticut: Simsbury Main Street Partnership, Westville Village Renaissance Alliance, and Main Street Waterbury. We'd love to see more communities join them as accredited programs. So we reviewed 180 village centers, commercial corridors, downtowns, neighborhood centers across the state. And to the best of our knowledge, we found that 66% have management in place, wish to have management, or should have management. But only 10% have paid management and paid staff in place. That's a major gap, and it's also a major opportunity. You might be asking yourselves, Kristen, why are you guys so upset with Main Street management, besides it being in your, mission statement, right? And it's because it works. Main Street America's data shows that every dollar spent on downtown management in 2024 generated close to $22 in new investment. Moreover, our own assessment shows that communities with paid staff outperform those without staff by 25%. Our goal is to see more communities adopt a managed approach because the incredible potential of our downtowns is waiting to be fully realized at scale. This potential has never been more apparent than in our work that we did in Northwest Hills in southeastern Connecticut this past year. As we start to see these regions and other regions across the state as constellations, as a constellation is made up of a group of individual stars forming a distinct image, Connecticut is made up of a collection of unique downtowns, village centers, neighborhoods, commercial nodes that together represent the story of Connecticut. Our small size is our strategic advantage, and it enables us to punch way above our weight. Within a day, you can easily experience Connecticut's rich natural assets. From our shoreline beaches to wooded trails, they are just minutes from our downtowns. And then experience our state's strong arts, culture, and dining scene. When we combine our main streets with our natural beauty and creative economy, we have everything we need to build a future in which families, corporations, top talents stay, new businesses are created, tourism increases, and arguably, most importantly, there's a strong sense of pride of place, both for our towns and for the state as a whole. We have all the building blocks, so how do we build this future? From our perspective, there are 3 key areas that need attention: vision, evaluation, and funding. The first step to unlocking the potential of every downtown is to have a strong sense of who you are and where you want to go. And unfortunately, most communities are missing this compass. Our field work shows that a lot of communities have a planning vision. Traffic calming over here, a streetscape over there. But there's no sense of what should or can become of these newly invested in spaces. Our assessment reveals that the majority of communities score low in having a clear understanding of what makes their community unique or having a strategic plan. A holistic vision matters. It informs everything: business recruitment, street design, marketing events, who's at the table, and it can even combat NIMBYism. Without an inspiring vision, projects and activities can feel disjointed, reactive, and don't make the impact that you want to see. One area in which we see this play out is in persistent street-level commercial vacancy. This signals a deeper absence of a coordinated strategy. According to our assessment, 63% of our communities we have assessed do not have a plan, an active plan in place to address vacancy. Persistent vacancy doesn't happen in a vacuum. What we're learning through our Diversity on Main program is that addressing vacancy requires a shared intentional vision of what the downtown should be. It demands that Main Street leaders define the types of businesses they want to attract. that property owners are active participants in shaping the downtown's future, and there's a clear pipeline of entrepreneurs ready to step in. But when there's no guiding vision, these pieces don't come together. The conversation stays siloed without expanding to include other really important voices, like from the arts, faith-based institution, human services, education, and beyond. The result, not enough players at the table, no shared direction, and stalled progress. Complex, persistent problems like vacancy require interdisciplinary, intersectional teams that are working from the same playbook, a strategic vision that gives clarity, purpose, and momentum. But we're finding that it's hard for communities to craft this vision. That's why we're creating a visioning workshop that we did with Northwest Hills COG to help communities start to find their unique qualities within the larger constellation of Connecticut's downtowns. And we're excited to be expanding this offering in the coming year to all of our member communities. All right, so let's say we have this beautiful vision in place. So how do we know we're reaching it? As Peter Drucker said, you can't improve what you don't measure. But what do we measure? The arc of change in our downtowns is slow and incremental. To the outsider, change can be invisible. We're not going to see excitement over a headline, disaster averted, better location found for a new cafe. But we practitioners know that that's important. So how do we measure the impact of something not happening? Our 6 components of a vibrant downtown help us to define and measure vibrancy. This includes the qualities of having a dedicated Main Street management, commitment to a sustainable future, investment in a diverse economy, conveniently connected and easily to navigate, a unique sense of place, and welcoming and inclusive to all. Each of these components has a set of actionable metrics, but ultimately what vibrancy looks like will differ for every town. There's no one-size-fits-all measure. A vibrant nightlife district and a hallmark movie-like village may both be thriving, but measure success in very different ways. And that's why measuring improvement must be tied to local vision. And unfortunately, just 25% of our communities are effectively tracking their progress. Worse, 80% aren't reporting their successes publicly. That means missed opportunities to build municipal and community support, which is vital for continued investment. And this leads me to our third point, plaguing all of our downtowns, funding. Successful Main Street management means shepherding a community's vision along, coordinating the activities of a number of different stakeholders to see that vision through. And it takes a lot of time, effort, and adequate funding, in particular in support of a paid professional to do the work. And there is simply a lack of funding that supports Main Street management currently. But we're also not helping ourselves solve this funding crisis. 76% of our assessed communities have no or only a minimal funding strategy in place. Without consistent, adequate funding, activities skew towards what's easy to support, events, promotions, beautification, rather than the harder, more strategic work like economic development, business recruitment, or organization building. Economic vitality, which includes things like market analysis, business support, and filling vacancies, is consistently the lowest scoring area on our assessment. These activities are hard to fund, but essential to success. Connecticut Main Street Center is acutely aware of these challenges, and we have been making progress to address this gap. First, our Main Street Accelerator program provides funding for project implementation, supported this year generously by Webster Bank. Our new funding database that we'll be launching soon will compile local, state, and national grant opportunities. And today, we are thrilled to announce the Empowering Main Street Fund to support management activities for CMSC member communities, generously supported by United Illuminating, Connecticut Natural Gas, and Southern Connecticut Gas. There's more to be done, but we're moving in the right direction. Let's return to this bigger picture. Connecticut's downtowns form a unique constellation, each town a bright point of light. With strong vision and aligned tracking and investment, they can shine in concert with each other. We often talk a lot about the vibrant downtown, but vibrancy isn't a finish line. It's something that you must pursue, nurture, and sustain. At Connecticut Main Street Center, we believe that that pursuit is not just worth it, it's imperative to our resiliency. And we're here to help you navigate it. Over the next year, we'll be launching new programs and opportunities to help communities get closer to realizing their full potential. And as we think about the full constellation that is Connecticut, it's clear that realizing this vision takes more than ideas. It takes action, partnerships, and shared learning. And that's why today's panels are so important. Each one digs deeper into the essential building blocks of the vibrant, resilient communities we want to cultivate. I encourage you all to listen actively, ask questions, and think about how you can bring these strategies back to your own community. So let's get started. Our first panel, Sustaining Restaurants and Retail in Uncertain Times, will explore how we can support two of our most visible and vital sectors in our downtowns, as they are increasingly facing more hardship. I invite to the stage our moderator, Chris DiPentima, President and CEO of CBIA, and panelist Scott Dolch of CT Restaurant Association, Anne Marie Knight of Black Business Alliance, and Rebecca Mead of Middlesex County Revitalization Commission. Thank you.